Spring is finally upon my city. It's finally getting warm after December, January, February, March, April, and pretty much all of May was cold. So that's 6 months of pure cold, snow, and disgusting weather. And now I think spring has finally arrived in my city. Thank you, Mother Nature, for being slow. So today it's time for our, what are we? It's gonna be May wrap up. So I read quite a few books in May. Well, quite a few books. I read 5 books in May because I did night shifts at my work, and I work in the emergency department at the hospital. And when nothing's going on, when nobody comes in, there's nothing to do. So I just sit there and read. So I read 2 books in a week on that week that I was working night shifts, so it contributed to my little pile of books right here. So we're just gonna get right into it. So the first book that I finished in May, I actually started in April, and it was actually in my April wrap-up, but it is Miss Mayhem. It is the second book to the Rebel Belle trilogy, and I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. The story was really cool, and there were a lot of twists and turns in this. I thought somebody was going against Harper and the team, one of a really close friend. I thought they were going against her, but they weren't. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Lots of twists and turns. I gave this 4 stars, I believe, on Goodreads. So yeah, number 1. Next, I did quite an accomplishment. Actually, I already read this book like twice already, but I reread it for the 3rd time, and this was my favorite time ever reading it. I enjoyed it so much more than the other times. I don't know why. It is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, I read this book twice already before I reread it this month, and I was enjoying it, but this time for some reason I just enjoyed it so much more than I did before. I don't know why, actually. I can't tell you why, but I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. There you go. Next, I immediately picked up Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and obviously this is the second one. If you don't know that, you're probably not human. The phone. Didn't I say the phone rings every time? Hello? Okay. Bye. Why? Every time I film, it's either the phone. Yeah, it's always the phone. It's always the phone. So, where was I? Oh yeah. This one, I read it in 2 days. This was the book that I read on my week of night shifts. I read it right through. It took me 3 days. I loved it. Really loved it. And it's really fun to see the differences between the movies and the books, because I grew up watching the movies, so I didn't read the books when I was a kid. Chamber of Secrets, number 3. The next book I read is the Booksplosion Book of the Month for May, and it is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is actually the first time I'm saying her name out loud. I feel so cool. Yeah, I can't explain what it's about. There's this girl and this guy, and we have both of their POVs in the book, and they come from like 2 different worlds, but they meet up, and it's a very... It reminded me a lot of Percy and Annabeth. Well, not just them, but like the whole thing reminded me of like Heroes of Olympus, Percy Jackson, the whole thing. Just because of the setting of where the book is and what the book's about, and I don't know, it just reminded me of them a lot. This book was very, 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 very hyped up. There's even a book being made into it already. A book being made into it, yeah, a movie being made into it already, and I just had really high expectations of it, and I knew it was going to disappoint me because I had way too high expectations of it. I mean, it was good, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as thrilling as I hoped it was going to be. The characters were really well developed, I love them, but, you know, it just, it didn't impress me the way that it impressed like every single person out there in the world. So I gave this 3 stars. 3.5, let's say. The last book that I started in May, I might finish it, there's still a few days left. It is the Joey Graceffa book, In Real Life, My Journey to a Pixelated World. If you don't know, Joey Graceffa is a big YouTube star. He's been on YouTube for a lot of years now, and he wrote a book, like a short little memoir, It's not exactly a memoir. It is a memoir from his beginning of his life to now, and I am like a quarter of the way through, almost a third of the way through. Really enjoying it. It is really fun, and you see a lot of it. You see all of it. There's a hair on my face and I can't get it. You see all of his life through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I just finished an ugly part, and it's just really fun, and you really get to see his life. And you, like most of us that watch Joey Graceffa's videos, know pretty much what went on, but we didn't have the details. And this book just explains everything, and it's really fun. There's like these little tip lists at the end. I'm not going to show you this one because that's like a big spoiler. There's like these lists that he makes, either like tips or advice or just stuff that he finds cool about his life, and it's just really fun to read, and it just gives you a big insight on his life, because I'm not like a die-hard Joey Graceffa YouTube person watcher. I watch a video once in a while, but yeah, it's just really fun to get an inside look on his life. Fast forward to next week. Actually, it's only a few days after I filmed the original video, but I have an update for you, okay? Last time I spoke to you, like 2 seconds ago, I was saying that I was quarterly done my Joey book. Well, I finished it yesterday. Words can't explain how good this book is. This is a memoir, so you kind of have to know a little bit about Joey to have the full effect of the book, but even if you just like know who he is, if you've seen 1 or 2 videos of him, you know his personality already. So just from that, go buy the book. Go get it, go borrow it, do something to read this book, because it is so good. It's about his life, and you can't criticize it because it's his life, but I can compliment it, and it was so well done. You go really deep into his life, all his fears and needs and wants, and it was just so good. You have to read his book. Simply written that you just fly right through it, and I couldn't put it down, especially when we hit the halfway mark. Something big happened, and I had my doubts about it, and I was so right. I was so freaking right, and I absolutely loved it. You have to pick Joey's book up. Stop watching this video and go to the bookstore, go see a friend who has it, go to your library, do anything. You just have to pick this book up. So stop watching right now if you haven't, and just go buy the book. I don't care if you don't finish my video. Go read this book, because it is so good. The ending was perfect, the middle was perfect, and the beginning was perfect. Everything about it was just so good. I give this 100 stars. Too bad, Goodreads. I am ditching your star rating system, and I'm going straight for the 100 stars, because it should exist for exceptions like this. I'm probably biased because I love Joey Graceffa's videos. I don't care. I absolutely love the book, and you know, go read it. Okay, rewinding back to the past. So there you go. Those are my books that I read in May, and I had enough books to make a wrap up for 1 month, so I made one. You're welcome, people of the internet. So that is it for this time. I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye. I bought myself a Hogwarts shirt. It's my first ever. So proud of it. Love me. Love me.